trade Steph Curry to Boston? One insane move could blow up the NBA overnight, pairing Curry with Jayson Tatum, while Boston ships out major pieces. But is this cluster actually enough to create an unstoppable Eastern Conference monster?
No, Derek White will stay.
Have to keep Derek White.
Nah, Derek White gotta go. Derek White, Payton Pritchard, Paul. Derek White, all three of them gotta go. Derek White, Paul, Jordan,
it's Steph
Payton
Curry,
Pritchard.
but he old, bro.
Come on, y'all.
Oh no, I ain't gonna lie. If
Steph
they
is 38, bro.
They learned from their mistakes 2 weeks ago, well, a couple weeks ago, be honest. If they say Derek White needs to be in this trade to get it done for Wardell, you get it done, bro. I will respect to Derek White. I will go find somebody else.
Sheesh, y'all.
Derek White and Payton Pritchard could get it done.
Payton Pritchard has to stay, though. I need a 6-man. Derek White and Paul George, Chris Knight Jr.,
Derek White and
3 picks.
Derek White and Payton Pritchard got to get it. They got to be in that
Steph,
trade.
yeah, man, y'all can all ride. I ain't gonna lie.
boy.
Mitchell Robinson,
Boston
JT.
Boston gonna be weak.
Steph Curry, no, they not. They already weak.
You think JT would be pissed if he got
They
Steph
already
Curry?
weak, cuz.
Nah, he gonna love that.
Okay.
Gonna be hype.
I mean, I know we've been waiting for the moment for him to have his own squad to get his shit off.
Getting
but then,
rid of the role players though, it's kind of like I need some scoring, bro. Give me something. Let me keep something, cuz.
We can get some new ones, bro. We can get some new ones, bro.
yeah, they're not trading Steph.
They said it's
There's
up
other
to
people available.
Oh, Steph
we know
want to
that.
do it. Steph ain't
They
going
said-
nowhere.
They said it's up to you.
I don't think Steph will leave this year.
Steph ain't never going to leave.
Unless the beginning of the season starts out absolute terrible.
Steph Curry's 40.
Yeah.
Only place
You don't have
Steph
to
is
make a
going is
decision.
Charlotte. That's the only place he had to get traded to. Charlotte.
Damn. We'll see what happens, man. My
Respect.
trade season, man. Load it up.
Other
What else?
than
There we
that,
at. Shout out to Draymond, man.
But that argument opened a much bigger door, because suddenly this wasn't just fan talk anymore. The next report put an actual trade package on the table.
Reached out to the Warriors to discuss a potential trade for Stephon Curry. Proposed trade package. Y'all hear me out now. It could land Steph Curry. It says Celtics receive Steph Curry. It don't have in here who they gonna trade.
They ain't got enough for him.
Paul George, Sam Hauser, 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Steph and Tatum. What we talking about?
It ain't happening.
Hold on. How you figure it ain't happening?
You think Golden State taking that?
Yeah, because I think
Trying to rebuild.
Jeremy, what else they gonna do, Jeremy? They in the Wild Wild West. What else they gonna do?
They in the Wild Wild West. They just re-signed Dre at a big deal. You're not moving.
They gave him 1 year. They gave him 1 year deal though.
Exactly. So it ain't going nowhere this year. They playing ball this year.
They basically saying thank you. It's like here's your severance. They basically
Hell of a
in so
severance
many
package.
words.
It's a hell of a
Yeah.
severance package.
Hold on, so y'all can't see Steph being traded to Boston? I can see it, bro.
I said it. I called. I remember. I said it.
Him and Tatum?
I said Miami. You said you wanted to see Miami. I said Boston.
No, I don't see it at all.
You don't see it at all.
I don't. It's not enough.
Okay. Hypothetically speaking, let's say it does happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my ear to the streets. I kind of know a little something. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Let's say it does happen. They trade Paul George, Sam Hauser, 2 first-round picks. Tatum and Steph. What y'all think? What they look like? Man, the East, what the East doing? They trying to load up over there, ain't they?
Man, that East deep, boy. That East deep, but I don't see them. Nah. That's not enough to win the East. Now, when you say Miami, that's different.
Hold on, you say it's not enough to win the East? They got
said
y'all.
Miami?
Don't y'all know they did go get Mitchell Robinson? Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
So they got some rim protection. They got some rim protection. Tatum gonna come back revived because he hearing all the rumbles about JB and they should be trading him instead of JB. So he gonna come back. He gonna come back ready to play. You mean tell me if they can some way somehow go get Stephon Curry, that little beige brother out there in San Francisco? You mean tell me that don't make them no?
They make him a contender for sure. That's a hell of a contender, but it ain't enough around that to win. Like you going against 4 dudes that just averaged 23 and up. I think Brown's at 23. Everybody else is at 28, 27. That is crazy over there.
Hey, listen, I don't know about y'all, but I like the movement in the NBA. I like seeing guys, especially our stars, especially the ones who probably going to be gone in another 5 years or so, the LeBrons, the KDs, the Stephs, even Westbrook at times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to see these guys move around. I mean, I know we talk about cats always being loyal, playing with one team, but And man, let Steph go and get up out of there, man. You know, come on to the Eastern Conference. I wouldn't mind seeing. That's all I'm saying. It's been reported, so hell, this guy had to come from somewhere.
That's for sure. If they blow that thing up in Golden State, though, this was the year. I don't think they're gonna do it this year. Next year, maybe.
But could be possible, Jeremy. It could be possible. Why not get started early, bro?
This was the year. If they did it this year, then I would understand it for sure.
What I'm saying is,
how many years is left on Jimmy Butler's deal?
2 or 3. Because he re-upped when he got to Golden State. So I think it's 2 at the least.
Yeah, they just had some unfortunate injuries, bro, with Jimmy Butler and Moses Moody. You know, them guys probably gonna be out for sure this season. So yeah. I don't know, man. The Warriors gonna have to figure it out, but I wouldn't mind seeing Steph and Tatum, bro. You know, hey,
that ain't bad. At Miami, you said Miami. That ring bells.
What if the most shocking NBA trade of the year is no longer just a wild idea? What if Steph Curry really becomes available and the Boston Celtics are willing to sacrifice major pieces to get him? The debate has already reached a dangerous point. Keep Derek White, keep Peyton Pritchard, keep the depth, or make the ultimate gamble for Wardell Stephen Curry.
One side is saying Boston has to include Derek White. Another says White is untouchable. But once Steph Curry enters the conversation, suddenly almost every rule changes. Because this isn't just about acquiring another star. It's about putting a legendary shooter next to Jayson Tatum and potentially changing the entire balance of the Eastern Conference. But then the hypothetical became much more specific, and suddenly there was an actual package to argue about. The proposed framework is brutal. Boston receives Steph Curry, while Golden State receives Paul George, Sam Hauser, and 2 first-round picks. And immediately, the reaction is split. Critics say that's nowhere near enough for a player of Curry's magnitude. Supporters argue Golden State has to consider the future, especially if the franchise believes the current roster isn't capable of seriously competing anymore. And that's where the argument gets complicated. The Warriors aren't simply trading away an aging veteran. They're potentially trading the face of the franchise, the player who transformed their organization and helped define an entire era of basketball. But if Golden State truly believes the window is closing, is keeping Curry actually the safer decision? And that brings us to the question nobody can escape. If Boston actually gets Steph, does that make them good or unstoppable? Imagine Jayson Tatum coming back with something to prove, while Steph Curry walks into Boston and immediately becomes the most dangerous spacing weapon on the floor. The Celtics already added Mitchell Robinson, giving them another layer of rim protection. Now put Curry next to Tatum, and suddenly defenders face an impossible choice. Collapse on Tatum and leave Curry open, or chase Curry around the perimeter and give Tatum room to attack. And here's the controversial part. This could actually make Tatum better. After all the noise about Boston's roster and whether Tatum should have to carry so much responsibility, adding Curry would completely change the pressure. Tatum wouldn't have to create everything. Curry wouldn't have to carry everything. But there's a catch. If Boston sacrifices too much depth to make the deal happen, the Celtics could become a spectacular top-heavy team with fewer reliable scoring options around their stars. Because winning a blockbuster trade on paper is one thing. Surviving the Eastern Conference afterward is something completely different. If Boston landed Curry, they would absolutely become a contender. But contender doesn't automatically mean champion. That's the line separating the hype from reality. The East is loaded with teams capable of punishing a roster that lacks depth. And if Boston sends away multiple rotation pieces just to acquire Curry, the Celtics could be forced into a dangerous equation. Elite stars at the top, but not enough firepower underneath. Still, imagine the ceiling. Tatum, Curry, Mitchell Robinson, and whatever remaining pieces Boston can keep around them. That's not a normal roster. That's a statement. And if you're Boston, maybe you don't care about having the deepest team in the league. Maybe you decide that when a player like Steph Curry becomes available, you simply take the swing. But the biggest obstacle may not be Boston at all. It may be Golden State, and whether the Warriors are even willing to open that door. The Warriors have already made it clear that this isn't necessarily a franchise standing still. Draymond Green was re-signed, and the organization still has reasons to believe it can compete. At the same time, injuries have complicated everything. Jimmy Butler and Moses Moody were major concerns, creating even more uncertainty around Golden State's ability to make a serious run. And that's why the idea of trading Curry this year feels so extreme. Steph is 40 years old, and his career is entering its final chapter. But age doesn't erase what he can still do. One postseason run with Curry at full strength could completely change the conversation. That's why some believe Golden State should wait. Maybe next year becomes the real decision point. Others say waiting is exactly how franchises waste their final opportunity. And if Curry ever does leave, there is one destination that feels especially personal: Charlotte. But before anyone starts packing Curry's bags, there's one final possibility that makes this entire debate even more fascinating. Because when the conversation shifts from Boston to Miami, suddenly the idea starts sounding a lot more dangerous. Boston with Steph would be fascinating. Miami with Steph? That rings a different bell. The broader NBA argument is simple. Fans want to see legendary stars move while there's still time to create one more unforgettable chapter. LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. These are players whose careers have defined generations. So why not let Curry chase another opportunity? Maybe loyalty keeps him in Golden State forever. Maybe the Warriors refuse to move in. Maybe this entire Celtics proposal collapses before it ever gets serious. But that's exactly why this story is so compelling. Because for the first time, the question isn't simply, would Steph Curry ever get traded? It's becoming, what happens if Golden State actually decides it's time? And if that day comes, the NBA could change overnight. So be honest, if Boston had to send Paul George, Sam Hauser, and 2 first-round picks to get Steph Curry, would you make the deal? Or would you protect the depth and keep building around Tatum? Because this is where the argument gets real, and somebody is going to be very wrong. Thank you for watching Sport Current. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video to support the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss the latest NFL and WNBA news, breaking stories, game updates, trades, and the biggest moments in American sports. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you in the next video right here on Sport Current.